Hello, Viking fans, and welcome. Week 3 of the 2021 season. I'm Brandon Davis, and as always, great to have with us Coach Josh Morgan. Coach, good to see you today.
You too.
Well, we didn't bring the trophy in here today, but there's this huge tall trophy that we had last week for the River City Classic that we brought home with us last Friday night. A hard-fought 7-6 win over crosstown rival Vicksburg. Coach, tell us a little bit about the game.
Well, our guys were excited to bring that trophy back home, and we talked about it, and it's on a yearly basis. It's this group knew what was at stake, and very proud of their effort. And it was a hard-fought, good old-fashioned Vicksburg Warren Central game, and it was tough, physical. Probably. Wasn't very exciting to watch, but it was fun to be a part of it, and it was just a good smash mouth football game, and really both schools really fighting and clawing and trying to win, and it was from the opening kickoff to the final whistle, you're kind of on the edge of your seat, and just a really tense game, and very proud of our effort and the determination of our guys to see it through.
So for you that didn't get to see the game, this is one of those games that's better if you're not a fan of either team.
Yeah.
A good football game, you want to watch it and you're on the edge of your seat, but you certainly need blood pressure medicine if you were a fan of either. That was a great game. So our defense seemed like they struggled a little early with the wing tee, but really stepped up when it mattered the most, held the Gators to 137 yards on the ground. A big effort from them, Coach. What was your thoughts?
Well, we came out at the beginning of the game, and like you said, they drove the ball all the way down the field, had a really nice drive on their part, and scored very, very first drive of the game. Had 2 fumbles there that we had the opportunity to get out of that situation and get us off the field, and we've got to be better in those moments. Those opportunities present themselves. We need to be better at taking advantage of those, and I think we settled in. We saw the wing tee offense literally for 2 days, and that's from a scout team. I thought the more that we saw it, the more comfortable that we got with it. But again, a lot of credit goes to Vicksburg and their game plan and their physicality up front and patience, and it really was 4 and 5 yards a pop, and them keeping the ball away from us and playing field position. They took really good care of the ball. So it's everything that a wing tee offense does, and you've got to get off the field defensively, and you got to be good on first down to put that offense in a bind. And we were fortunate in some areas, and we made some big stops when we needed them.
Well, I think the first quarter was 20 minutes. It was that type of a ball game.
That's right.
They drove down the field and they scored. We take the ball, drive down the field and score. It was 7-6. That was it, folks. That was all the scoring that you had. 20 minutes into the game. But our TJ Thompson, talk about our offense. He led our offense 108 yards on the ground. Scored our only touchdown. Really seemed like he's becoming more relaxed in this offense. What are you seeing from him in the early part of this season?
Experience, patience. He has worked extremely hard. Coach Cruz has been very good for him. He is making these cuts. His vision, he's making cuts. He's always been just a physical specimen, and he's using his vision, and he's truly playing the running back position at a high level right now. And he's seeing his holes. Of course, it helps to have a really good offensive line in front of you that you have holes to see. But TJ's seeing it really good. He's being patient with it. He's taking care of the football, and he is hard to bring down. And he's, I was so proud of him. We needed that kind of effort from him last week, and seemed like every one of his runs were he was finishing in a physically dominant position, and I was proud of him. And it was tough yards, and Vicksburg knew what we were going to do, and they had seemed like 9 people in the box, right. And we just kept coming, and so I'm very proud of that effort from our offensive unit. I'm proud of Harley for the way he ran the team, and I'm proud for our offensive linemen to really come together and find a way to win, and we sure did lean on them.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell they were stacking the box, 8 or 9 in the box, and he was running past them. That was really a great effort. But let's talk about that game plan. 40 of our 44 plays was on the ground. So did you guys see something on the field that led to a more conservative approach against them?
Well, we were not going to press the issue and put ourselves in any kind of situation if we didn't need to. It's an approach that we had going in, and we were not going to help them, and we were not going to beat ourselves. And we felt like running the ball was our best option. And we wanted to be able to do that and be patient. Coach Rob was not there, offensive coordinator, and I don't know if I've ever been proud of our coaching staff than I was last week. Coach Cosby, Coach Cruz, and Coach Brogdon just really came together, and we put a really good plan together. The kids responded really well to them, and we won, and that's what we wanted to do, and that's what we were able to do.
Well, if you loved running the football, it was a game for you. It was a classic of a slobber knocker game. It was fun to watch. Again, I just wish I wasn't a fan of one of the schools. It would have been much easier on me. This is Viking Talk. We're visiting with Coach Josh Morgan. Coach, this week an old familiar Region 2 foe in Germantown. What can you tell us about the Mavericks?
Well, if you keep up with high school football, they've got two of the best players in our state on their team. That's best running back in the state. Nose tackle who also plays some offensive lineman, who is a massive human being and very talented, with high accolades, and rightfully so. Very good football players, good football program, and we're familiar with them from the Little Six and from the last two years that we've played them, and they've been hard-fought, physical games. Two programs that look a lot alike, and it'll be a really good test for our ball club.
Well, you talked about it. They are led by Georgia commit in the 4th-ranked 2022 running back prospect in the entire country, and Branson Robinson. How impressed are you with him, Coach? And what type of a game plan do you have to put together for a player like this?
Well, he's special. He's very big and physical, and he just looks like a Greek god almost. He's just built with that physique, and he has the speed to go along with it. He has a burst that last year he scored on us, had a long run, and I don't think he got touched. It's just one crease, and he has that kind of burst. So, it's truly a complete package as far as the running back's concerned. And when the University of Georgia comes calling for you, that says enough by itself. So, very good football player, physical football player, and it's definitely going to be a challenge. And we will approach it from the way that we have. This won't be our first rodeo or in a position where we've been in, where we're playing an elite athlete. You come to Warren Central and schools like this, and those are challenges, and that's what we look at it as an opportunity, a challenge. And hopefully our guys can rise up and we can play well as a unit and compete as a unit. And we like the saying is we're not going to let one person beat our team, and we're going to rally behind that, and we know it's going to take a bunch of defenders and a really good pursuit to stop a great running back.
So you talk about that pursuit. That's what we saw against Vicksburg. They had to gang tackle him. Every hat had to be working toward him. So I'm sure that's something you had to work on this week in practice.
Yeah, we I think the 2 touchdowns, one that we've given up in Jamboree and also against Vicksburg. Well, we were over pursuing. Our guys were hustling so much and so hard, and we're still working on that. But I'm trying to get them to pursue it together and in the right manner. You look at the Vicksburg score; we had everybody running to the ball, but it just didn't have. Some guys were out of whack, but the effort sure was there.
Well, Coach, you talk about that defense. I think their defense is really overlooked. They run a 3-man front, maybe the best 3-man front in the state. Talked about Xavier Harris. He's their nose guard, 6'7", 330-something pounds. Ole Miss commit, Clarion Ledger, Dandy Dozen, one of the best players in the state, like you said. But he overshadows Tyrese Field, and then Montarius Walker. He's a junior. I think he may be the best end that they have. This should be a great matchup and a challenge for our offensive line. What are your thoughts?
And those guys that you mentioned are all back from last year as well. So that we thought they were very physical and tough up front. And they're back, and that's just anytime that you have that experience come back along with the talent, and which they clearly have, they're just going to be that much better. And we know it's going to be a really big fight up front. That'll be a fun matchup to watch, is our O-line and their D-line. But what that's allowing them to do is play a bunch of guys on the back end. You're literally playing a three-man front, so now you can play these games with 8 people behind them, and it allows them to show multiple looks, to put faster people on the field. So they're really playing to the strength of their D-line, and we've got to do a good job of finding where they all are and making sure that we're on point with what we're doing, and that'll be the chess match there.
Always a challenge when you go up against a three-man front. We talked about that a few weeks ago, the linebackers being able to move around. It's going to be important to get our linemen up to those linebackers to keep them from playing clean, right, Coach?
Yeah, we feel like if we can get to the second level, then we really like our chances. And so that's going to be the challenge, to make sure that we don't have run-throughs and, guys that are penetrating. And so that'll be a very big key for us for our offense.
Well, Coach, we've done a great job so far this season running the football, but we've yet to show much of a passing game. This week, how important is it going to be to have a more balanced approach?
We know that we have to be balanced, and we want to get the ball in our guys' hands on the outside. We feel really good about Trey Hall as a receiver, Quan Turner and Preston Lynch as receivers, and Jalen Trisby and those guys, and we want to be able to get the ball in their hands, and we want to be able to use them. And we know that we're going to have to be able to do that in order to be a successful ball club, especially in late, October and November. So we want to do that. We want to be good at that, but we also are going to be, doing what's best for our ball club and trying to win and being successful in that. So we're going to do whatever it takes to win. We're bringing our quarterbacks along, and they are doing a fine job of getting better and doing exactly what we ask them to do, and feel good about that. And confidence is building each and every week, and really excited about this week, and I'm hoping and anticipating a really big springboard going into our district.
We talk about our quarterbacks. Something that I thought about that is very unique here, and I don't know if you've thought about it. I'm sure you have. For the past 5 years, you've turned the offense over to a senior first-year starter quarterback, this year being Harley Sullivan. Most programs, Coach, that is not an ideal situation because you seem like you're constantly having to rebuild. But we've been a playoff team each one of those years in probably the toughest region in 6A football. What is the formula or the approach that you and Coach Rob and the rest of the offensive position coaches are using to get the most out of these kids?
Well, I think it goes a lot to say with Coach Rob's development with the quarterbacks. These guys have been all program guys, have been through him, and number one is we're going to play the best quarterback that gives us a chance to win. And it also says a lot about our kids, of not instant gratification. I'm not starting as a sophomore, and sticking it through and being team guys and learning how to win and all the stuff that gets overlooked at this day and age. Our guys, Harley's been on the sideline and learning and growing, and it's not an ideal situation to have to start a senior and only have 1 year and then redo it, but it's not the way we look at it. We're going to build and mature and have great team guys, and it's not about selfish desires. It's about me leading this team, and I think we're seeing that with Jack and Harley right now. It's whatever we need to do to win, and it's just a really good thing to see. And but a lot of that credit goes to Coach Rob and his development of quarterbacks and being able to win consistently, and with a running quarterback, with a throwing quarterback, and being able to be consistently and win. And as you mentioned, in a tough district where every win is special. So I think all of that credit, and deservingly so, goes to Coach Rob and our quarterbacks.
Well, we've got certainly have talent on the depth chart. Quarterback Jack Wright, he is a junior, but I want to talk about a freshman quarterback, DeCorey Knight, leading our freshman team. Right now they're undefeated. Most recently, and probably something you're proud of, a 35-8 win over rival Clinton the other night.
Yeah.
Discuss the job that Coach Matt Williams and his staff are doing with this freshman program, and how excited are you to bring these kids along into the varsity program?
Well, it's been a good week for us. We beat Vicksburg as varsity, and then we swept Clinton in 8th grade and 9th grade. And
right.
man, that's awesome, and that doesn't go overlooked. Our coaches do an amazing job. Our kids, parents, getting the kids here and investing that time in them. And when you get wins like that and weeks like that, it just puts a smile on your face and makes coming to work a whole lot better. And I'm so proud of Coach Green and our junior high staff and Coach Williams and our ninth grade staff. But I've watched these guys, Coach Williams and Coach Cruz, Coach Cooksey, Coach Brewer, Coach Quimby. You know, that's a great staff, and and they have given them all that they've got and worked with them. And those kids have been in our summer workouts and been the consistently best group of being here and working, and it's just paying off for them. And to see them, you know, get that kind of success and super proud of them, and they're reaping what they've sown. And I think the best is yet to come for that group. And you mentioned DeCory and the quarterbacks. We feel, you know, Maddox Lynch is another quarterback there that's going to continue to get some work, and Harbor Williams as well. So we feel good about that group and a bunch of playmakers in there. But I'm very excited about the future.
Yeah, we're graduating a very talented class, and you want to get down on it, but you look at this freshman class coming up, and there is a lot of talent that's about to be coming up to this program. Very exciting for us for sure. Well, opening home game this week for the Vikings. How glad are you to finally be back home? Even though we've been just across town, how glad are you to be back home?
There's no place like home. No place like home. And, you know, we get this is a big game for us, and we're thankful for it, and we're hoping and that we can play really good and put on a good show is what we want to do, and we want to be at our best, and we're treating this game as you know, it's a true test, and just to see where we are, and if we're a lead or not, you know, what are we right now? It's just a great benchmark for us as a ball club, and I'm anxious to see the result of it and watch our team compete against a quality Germantown that'll be in the hunt for the playoffs as well. So this is a good test for us, and the reason we scheduled this game before we go into our district, and that's how we're approaching it. And I'm anxious to see our guys, and I'm anxious to see our crowd. I'm anxious to be on that field with you announcing the game and our cheerleaders and our Big Blue. And so I'm hoping for a really good night, and I know our community's ready for it as well.
Heck of a test as we go into region play. But we're talking about that, your final non-conference game, then you have a bye, then we're going to go into our new region. Are you hoping to have an opportunity to play some of your younger talent, maybe some of the kids down the depth chart, to get them some experience heading into this tough region play?
Yeah, you know, we're going to do that, but the number one thing is you know, we're fighting to win, and we want to be able to do that, but we also have to have that trust in them, because, you know, in games like this, every possession matters, and every you know, every snap matters and is magnified, but we have built some depth, and we feel good about it, and those guys that we trust, you know, will get reps, and what they do with it will tell the tale if they get more reps or not. That's the way this works, and but we're getting into the part where, you know, we have to trust you 100% to be able to count on you, and but we feel like we're building good depth, and that's the idea, and it'll be no different this week.
Yeah, you get the bye, then you go into a tough stretch. I mean, we thought that we're leaving Region 2, we're getting into an easier region. That's not the case. You're going to have Oak Grove at home, then you're going to have a run with Brandon, Northwest Rankin, Pearl. I mean, so it doesn't get easy for you, Coach.
No, but it's like it always has been around here. It's about Warren Central. It's about us getting better every week, and let's, you know, it's always the day and age that we live in with COVID and all that. We've all learned to take it one day at a time, one week at a time, and enjoy the ride and the journey. And that'll be our message to our guys. Let's get better. Let's have fun doing what we love to do, and let's work and stay together and love one another, and we'll let the chips fall where they may.
Well, you had a full week of practice last week. Like you said, we were distracted by Hurricane Ida and the remnants of that. But a full week this week. How did the team respond to the teaching from
Best week yet. Best week yet. And we've had a good week. You know, when you're getting kids up here on a Labor Day, it's usually like pulling teeth, and all accounted for, ready to dial in, ready to go. Sure does help coming after a big win, and anxious to get better is what I've seen this week. Anxious to get better, and we all know that we need to get better to do what we want to do and to compete in the way we want to compete. And we've had a really good week of practice, and I'm anticipating it paying off for us.
Well, Coach, what's going to be the keys to beating this Germantown team?
Well, I think everybody that has any kind of common sense will know the first one, and that'll be we've got to control their tailback. We've got to control their running back. He's special, and it's just going to be you have to be patient. You have to understand the grind, and you can't let up for 1 second because he can make you pay. And those are special players, and when you play them like that, you just can't be out of position one time, and that puts a lot of strain and pressure on us. But we're going to have to be able to do that, and I think that if we're able to do that, and then I think as we alluded to earlier, if we can be sound up front and have an idea, an understanding of what we're going to see in the box. You know, we look. The last 2 weeks, we're preparing for a defensive front, and we've seen 2 different ones both weeks because of what we do. Mm-hmm. So if we can get a beat on them and get to the second level with our athletes, feel really good about our backs, and then going to be some plays there, some shots that are going to be able to take, and we're going to take them. We just got to be able to execute them. So those big plays, whether it's the run game or the pass game, is going to be very beneficial to us.
Well, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
Glad to be back
fun.
home. As you said, no
Yep.
place like home. Well, we want to thank you all for joining us this week, regardless of how you're watching, whether it's in person or live cast. Hope it's in person. We need a big crowd here Friday night to cheer on our team, cheer on our boys, and our band, or cheer everyone. We want you to come out and support them. They've done a lot, as Coach said. We are in the COVID climate. We thank the Lord every time we get a chance to play because we can't take this for granted. So I hope that you do come out and support these kids this Friday night. We are very fortunate for our student athletes and our coaches to being safe, and just ask you to continue to think about them as we navigate through this difficult season. A reminder, next Friday night's our bye week, and then we're going to go in 2 weeks. We will be playing the defending state champion Oak Grove Warriors. Will be coming here to Viking Stadium. That's going to be a fun one as we begin to navigate into Region 3 of 6A football. I'm excited about that one. Kickoff time is going to be 7 o'clock. So for Brandon Davis, I'm Brandon Davis. He's Josh Morgan. We appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you. Until 2 weeks from now, rise up Vikings.